It's connecting.
Connecting. Are we? Here we go. Hodl. Save. Build a. Sound money. All right. This one is open to the public. We don't do this very often, so we're going to keep it short. We tend to meander and wander around and just rant and ramble. So we're going to keep this one short. We actually have an agenda.
We have a lot we want to talk about. And
GameStop. The GameStop. Ha. Guys, if you don't understand market fundamentals, you just got a wake-up call. You know, you were played, and what can I say? So we've
got a lot of interesting guests with us today.
Yeah, well. I was going to do this all alone, but we got superstars with us. We got wow, we got Tone Vays, we got Bitcoin Motors, and we got Joe Sads. Oh man, we don't deserve these two guys.
This is almost a reunion.
So wow, thanks for coming, guys. But I just wanted to outline a little bit about this because you know, I was going to later on, I'm going to briefly outline the article that I wrote some time ago and said establishing a position is the hardest thing to do. And hodl is really hard to do, guys. It's hard. And then once you trade, establishing a position while you're trading, it's hard to do.
It's hard work.
And I'm that kind of a position trader. We've got Joe on, who's developed his own short-term,
degenerate scalper.
He's probably, you said he's almost kills himself, but he's scalping this market, and I get it. That's another way to do it. There's all kinds of ways to cut the mustard, but you just have to watch how much you're trading with, guys. You can take a little bit of Bitcoin and make a whole lot out of it.
And you've shown that. But
if you give it up, that's your problem. And a whole lot of people just got their little butts burned. And, that's why I said, I don't teach you. Who's the guy that I put the bullet in his head in that article? Anyway, he's an old Jesse Livermore. He's the original technical trader that everybody picked up on, and people said, "Oh, and this is a Jesse Livermore formation." Jesse Livermore went broke multiple times, and in the end, put a bullet in his head. Right. I'm not teaching you to put a bullet in your head, guys. I want you to be genuinely successful, and so don't stop what you're doing. It's just you got to put yourself on the Bitcoin standard and start thinking in Bitcoin. It's like the doctor that came in and performed the surgery on my wife. He saved her life on COVID. So, hey, I gave him a nice Bitcoin tip and says, I'm going to cash in part of that. And he bought some medical equipment. He's already got 3 scheduled surgeries. And as he pays off this equipment, he'll be buying his Bitcoin and building a bigger hodl than he has. But at least he's finally got a hodl. You can't trade till you have a hodl.
There you go.
And if you don't have a big enough hodl, then you just need to hodl.
But we're going to come back to that.
All right.
Let's kick it off with the GameStop, Silver, AMC debacle that's been going on the last few days. Tone, you had some good takes on it earlier.
Sure. You know what, guys? How long is this live stream usually? Like 45 minutes?
About 30, 40 minutes max today.
Let me see. You mind if I record this and then maybe I'll throw it on my channel? We'll see. I'm just gonna hit the record button here.
Ugly? No
That's
problem.
fine. That's fine.
Good with me. Everyone else happy?
Thanks for popping in.
Can I get permission to do that?
Yeah. Yes, no problem.
Everyone else?
Yeah, absolutely.
No. I mean technological permission.
Oh yeah, of course.
All right.
Let's see. How do we?
Yeah, just right-click my name and say allow record.
No. Oh, on the name. Right. I got you. Right-click. I can't see it. Allow room to record.
All right, that'll work.
All right, cool.
All right. So Bitcoin Motors, I have a question for you before I forget. Did you take home my philosophy book, Thales to Dewey? Do you have that? I'm looking for it and I can't find it in the house anywhere.
I don't believe, no, I didn't take it with me. So I do remember you were mentioning a book, but I didn't take it.
Okay, well, it's no big. I was going to order a new one if you did. If you took it, I was going to order a new one. Otherwise, it'll show up. So
it should be somewhere in your house. I didn't grab it. What was it called again?
Thales to Dewey. It's basically just a basic philosophy book that outlines, from the ancient Greeks all the way to modern times. It's really a great reference. And I use it all the time. So I was looking for it today.
I love philosophy. I was listening
Yeah.
to Nietzsche when we were in Mexico together. We were listening to Nietzsche in the van as we were driving through Baja California.
All right. Well, just one of my handbooks that I keep handy. I keep a few books handy.
Yeah, we wanted to look at it
because when you start getting old, you start getting sent on, forget things. You got at least. Wow! Now look at that's GameStop.
So let's have a look at this, guys.
All right, hey guys, hey Ugly. No, thanks for having me on the channel. I've actually I really wanted to discuss GameStop with someone else. Man, I'm like, every time crazy shit like this happens, I just keep thinking if only Tyler was here to like help make sense of it. Because like as much as I try to provide like my own unbiased opinions, because I don't really have time to read other people's opinions, I provide my opinions, and it would have been great to just get Tyler's, personal opinions without any bias.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these, I mean, I know not just Tyler's, there's a lot of dead guys I know that I wish I could, that I was relying on. Now, I'd love to have E.C. Harwood or Milton Friedman and F.A. Hayek and Henry Hazlitt. Man, I'd love to pick their brain. And that's that thing that's so cool about Bitcoin. That's where we've inherited this thing, and we got to go back to what's happened in the past so we don't repeat mistakes. And here is a great mistake that's being
Oh, hey, Ugly, can I walk you through something? You're using very old indicators, and I would love to just update your chart real quick. Okay. If you can just delete, well, first of all, click on that word trading. Yeah, delete that. Get rid of that. Also, if you go down, just make your charts bigger. Click on trading panel. The blue word trading panel.
Trading panel. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Much better. Now, if you go up, go add indicator. Exactly. Go to invite only. Excellent. And click on the MRI. You got it. Done.
Let me plug you a little bit, guys. If you don't know what you're looking at, this is Vays indicator.
You added it. You added it twice. Get rid of one. Now I got to do one more thing with you. One more thing, real quick. If you go into your settings, the overall settings, like the chart settings, not the
gear in the bottom right of the trading view chart.
You can go to the bottom right, and click on
of the trading view chart. There's a gear wheel.
Right. Yeah. I got it.
And then go to settings.
I know. Well, actually, you zoomed it. Okay, you know what? Get out of that. Well, we're gonna do something else.
Yeah, there's settings. There's settings. Tone.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. And if you go to status line, on the left side, status line on top.
Left tab.
Yep, perfect. Status line, and get rid of indicator arguments.
Oh, those are the ones. Right. I've been looking.
Also get rid of indicator values.
Yeah, those were annoying the hell out of me. Brilliant.
Yep. Hit OK. And one more thing, just click on the calendar on the right side, all the way on the right. No, not on the chart. All the way on the right. The little blue thing.
That one?
Yep. Get rid of that as well. I mean, just maximize your charts. Beautiful. There you go. Now you guys are in business. Okay. So now we can actually talk about this. Look, I told everyone to stay the fuck away from the shitcoin, and I don't know what else I can say.
It's a stock. It's not a shitcoin, Tone. It's a stock, but it's the same difference.
At this point.
Look, it's the same difference. Look, the company is bankrupt. All right, Ugly. Have you been watching my channel? Have you heard like I'm being demonized for taking the side of the institutions on this one? Is that like wrong?
No. I actually published, how short sellers are heroes, that was published by somebody on American Institute for Economic Research. And I got a little bit of flack for that one. I mean, I understand what they're doing, but if they really think it's going to work,
they got another thing coming.
Yeah, there's no fundamentals behind it. And you've got to have, look, dollar cost averaging works in Bitcoin because we're fundamentally so far correct in the market. And there's no reason to have a fundamental change in that market. So without fundamentals, then then you can apply, and then you need to apply money management. So, and then after that, you can do to trade this stuff, you got to use technical, but how you trade something like this, first of all, for you and I, we know this is not a candidate for our trading.
Exactly. But it is a candidate for those that don't know what they're doing and they want to follow some leader in a group that is promising them to be a billionaire.
Well,
Right.
I got a funny thing. This was a shitcoin to me too, and I tried to short $400 GameStop March 16th at a $50 strike, and it wouldn't let me short it at $400. It was like they were freezing me out. And like, so it's like, not only is it's like the whole thing, the whole system right now it pissed me off. I'm like, done. I'm pissed. That would have been a freaking walk away trade right there, you know?
I actually wanted to short it at 350 as well, but couldn't find it.
Let me just explain my position real quick. I'll try to summarize it. Look, maybe I'm an idiot, but I was under the impression that no stock could be shorted with more than 50%
balance, like only in very rare cases.
Right. So I don't know how exactly that happened, but like in my understanding, my understanding is you have to borrow stock I hope Ali can hear me because I know he's walking around.
Yeah, he can hear.
Okay. You have to borrow stock from someone. And once you borrow that stock, you can then sell it to someone else that wants to buy it. So if there was 100 shares of stock long and you borrowed that 100 shares, you short that 100 shares, but someone else bought that 100 shares. So now there's 200 shares long and 100 shares short. So the maximum a stock could be shorted is 50% of float. Now, I guess it's possible through some creative finances that some people, you're borrowing the stock from like the same people that are longing the stock, and somehow the short interest got out of control.
Yeah.
Right. Now, did the hedge fund do something stupid? They did. Did the hedge fund pay for that? Oh, they sure did. They caused an international incident. Okay. Now, did the regulators screw up and not pay attention to some stock being shorted more than 50%? The answer is probably, and I'm sure the SEC is having a nice private chat to make sure that in the future, no stock could have greater than a 50% float short, because that means that something is out of whack, okay? Now, just because there was some fuckery on one company out of 5,000 does not mean that the entire system is screwed up. I'm sorry. Like, look, I know we all want to believe that the stock markets are rigged and it's like not a free market at all. But one stock being out of control short is not like indicative of the entire financial market. Like, it's insane to me to think that.
That's a very fair point. That's a very fair point.
Does anybody want to hear a bullish case for GameStop?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm always game for anything.
Sure. So when I say a bullish case for GameStop, I'm not saying to go out and buy GameStop because I think that would be an extremely risky move at this point. I think the case was at $10, which is it's not at $10 anymore. So the bullish case for GameStop is that the companies, the hedge funds that were shorting GameStop were saying this company is worth zero, basically. They were saying the company has no value whatsoever. And that's certainly not the case. Now, they are the last video game retailer. Now, just because they're the last doesn't mean that they're going to, survive. It just means that they may be the last to go out of business. However, the fact that they're the only ones left and gamers, I'm not a gamer. I know Tone's not a gamer. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Ugly's not a gamer unless you count pinball machines. No, but from what I understand, gamers.
Oh, did you say I'm not a gamer?
I said I don't know.
Oh, I'm a fucking gamer.
Joe,
all right, so Joe's a gamer, so maybe Joe, he can answer this for me. My understanding is that gamers actually want to have the disc. They want to have the disc, and there might be a rejuvenation of GameStop and a gaming retailer because of the new consoles that are coming out. The console wars might there hasn't been a new console that has come out in like, I don't know, how long has it been? 5-6 years, something like that.
Yeah, it's
Just
around
had
every
the
5-6
PS5
years.
and the new
And
Xbox.
GameStop, hold on, let me finish my point. So GameStop is actually changing their business to try to make it more of an immersive experience. When you go in there, it's not just you're going in there to buy a game or to sell a game. You're going there to sit down at this station and immerse yourself into a gaming experience. So the fact that this stock was being short over 100%, mostly by people who don't play games, who don't know gamers, like myself. I don't know gamers. I'm not a gamer unless you count chess. Is why there were so many people like Michael Burry and Deep Fucking Value who were bullish on the stock, and they weren't just bullish on it last week. They've been bullish on the stock since, I think, middle of last year. I think since the summer they were bullish on this stock.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just when you have a pump like this, when you see, I mean, this is a good Ted Warren stock. Ted Warren would teach you, yes, it's fine to buy that thing in that accumulation phase, but this is where you dump it. Stupidity. This is where Ted Warren, you dump. Yeah, this is distribution.
This is stupid game.
And you had 3 days to sell, and that was it. It's over. It's over. I mean, maybe you can pump it up again, but I'd be very, very surprised. The guys that own the company, what I read is they can't sell. They're locked in too much. But I would say that those guys, if they were smart, they refinanced their company. But I don't know if they're that smart to figure out, hey, we got all of this capital now we can raise. Hopefully they were selling their stock and basically let the public have it, and we'll see if we can deal with it. And maybe they'll be the Binance in the game industry. I don't know, but Binance did it, and they succeeded, and they built a decent exchange. From my everybody I've talked to, they kind of like Binance. I've never traded on it.
I've never had a bad experience.
Hey guys, so look, so here's what I said on my channel. Right. So do you see where on what was it? January 24th, the price started to rise.
Yeah.
The day after that. That one, right? January 22nd. Sorry, Friday. So on that Friday, the exchanges and the brokers, especially the brokers. Look, the exchanges don't care. When it comes to a lot of people in crypto don't understand the difference between a broker and an exchange. Because in the world of crypto, they're always one and the same. But in the world of traditional finance, there's a huge difference between a broker and the exchange. The exchange couldn't care less, but the brokers care, because the brokers, that's where you trade. You trade with the broker. Now, what I've said on my channel is that, look, the hedge fund felt the pain before that Friday. Yeah. That Friday really... that Friday is when, the social media started to have a life of its own, and it really took off over the weekend. That weekend, the SEC and the brokers, if they did not get on a phone call, they screwed up. But the brokers took matters into their own hands. I was getting emails every day. Actually, I wasn't paying attention to them, but I just checked. And I can't share my screen right now. I'm doing so much paperwork for the things that I'm doing with my life right now that I cannot share a screen. I will dox things that cannot possibly be doxed. And
it's fine. If you want to send a link through Telegram, I'll open it here.
No, I'm gonna take a little. I'll probably take a screenshot. Let me go to my email. Let me go to one of my emails, the one that where my broker. Like, I use Interactive Brokers, and they're not. And I also said there's no adults trading on Robinhood. They don't exist. Only kids trade on Robinhood. Adults
and Robinhood screwed up big time, because the right thing to do was raise margins. That's what they did, but to stop trading, that was a big screw up. Well, all they had to do was
to the point you were making, Tone, about a stock not being able to be shorted more than 50%. My kind of feeling is that it's all these derivatives that aren't deliverable that are causing that.
All right, so here's a screenshot. So Interactive Brokers was sending me emails every day telling me we are seeing unprecedented volatility in GME, AMC, BB, EXRP, AXPR, and KOSS. I don't even know what KOSS is. And they're basically saying that because of this unprecedented volatility, they will, make sure that protect their users and to keep an orderly market. This is exactly what a responsible company is supposed to do. And again, I don't understand all of this insanity. This is what they're supposed to do. Now, Robinhood, I don't think they know what they're doing, obviously, because no adults trade there. So they obviously screwed up. But so basically, if you go back to the chart now that people saw this, and by the way, when I log into my bank account, I also get like this weird message that says, if you are like investing in speculative assets, there is like they're not naming them by name, but I know exactly what they're talking about, you know? Like, so look, when that month, on that Monday, this stock should not have been traded. Monday the 25th, when the stock opened on Monday, that weird red candle, that one. On that day, all trading of this stock should have been frozen. You should not have been allowed to sell. You should not have been allowed to buy, because it was obvious that that weekend there was a massive social media, push to wreck a company. Now, I am being completely impartial here. In this case, they are not wrecking GameStop. GameStop is benefiting because there are people, the senior level managers of GameStop are now very, very wealthy. So they're not wrecking them. They're wrecking a hedge fund, which everyone is happy about because the average person hates hedge funds. But what I'm saying is this could have been the other way around. This could have been a coordinated attack to destroy a company and all of the jobs in that company and all the C-level managers in that company. So I am just being completely impartial as to which company is being destroyed. In this case, it happened to be a hedge fund, but either way, this is happening in the financial space within the security laws, and it's up to the brokers and the SEC to make sure that you have an orderly market. And GameStop going above $100 is nothing but an orderly market. I'm sorry. And I'm going to be on the side of trading of this asset should have been frozen because I knew the outcome, and here is the outcome, a 90% crash.
Tony, in this case, the interference from the SEC may have actually prevented the market from working, because if the market was rational and was allowed to be free, what would have happened is when the price spiked, then GameStop would have started issuing new shares to try to bring the price under control and to take advantage of this.
That's not how regulated financial market works. I'm sorry. This is not a shit coin where you can just print more assets. Well, this is not some DeFi scam where you can just print. I mean, these are regulatory.
Not an XRP. This is waiting in line.
Right. They can't just sell the shares. In fact, I don't know if I should say, but I had a chat with like a financial professor, and I on my podcast I said if I was C-level managers of GameStop, I would be selling the shit out of my shares because I know they ain't worth that much, and I would cash in all of my millions and perhaps billions from holding the stock because I'm a C-level manager with a stake in the company. And he said none of the insiders sold their shares because they knew that if they did and they profited with that money, the SEC would be on their ass knowing that, yo, dude, what are you doing? So no, it's not that simple. You can't just issue shares. And if you're an insider, you can't just sell because of this coordinated pump.
Yeah, and the CEO, his stock is locked up for, it's not free yet. I think I read an article somewhere. I don't know. It's going to take a while before
my point was that the SEC regulation is preventing the market from working. If the C-level managers don't think the stock is worth that much, they should be able to.
But wait a minute, no, Patrick, you're entering a dangerous game here because there's also rumors that there was another hedge fund that was very long the stock that actually that orchestrated some of this stuff. So if you're going to remove that law, now you're back to being a shitcoin space where the insiders of that company are playing whatever games they like to pump their own stock in order to just get out. I mean, that's a dangerous double-edged sword there.
Okay, well, I used to be a registered securities broker. My background is really commodities, and I understand how they work. And so, I actually traded in the day when we had limit days. And I remember you get caught in the market. Now, just because the futures are locked, that didn't stop the cash market. When silver went up, if you look at the old chart, you had these dots, 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 because you couldn't trade the futures. They were just locked in. Every day it'd go up the limit and it was over with, no volume. And then, but the cash market never stopped. So you had this tremendous, you could still unwind a futures contract. It was expensive, but it was cheaper to do it, you know, at $15 and $50. So you don't want to shut down the market. But, and that's, you know, that's why I'm a little bit confused myself, because what are we really trading now in stocks? You know, in the day we had certificates, and now we don't. We have, it's almost all stocks are a derivative. Almost. They're not a derivative, but they're not like you have a stock certificate switching that you have in your possession. That's a bare stock certificate. And maybe we need to go back there to make it a safer market, because that's what you have in like the silver futures, and they've taken off the limits, but you have in the commodities market, you have a physical market and you have a futures market.
Right. That's what I expect is allowing a stock to end up being shorted more than 100% of the float, is because we have all these derivatives.
But if you didn't, if you had to have the physical stock, right? Then, there's a temptation.
Is that correct?
To deregulate, because we confuse, you know, the idea of having the stock and somebody else. It's like having, you know, Bitcoin on GBTC,
right,
or on CME. You don't. It's not Bitcoin. You got a CME certificate. You can't take delivery of. You can't take delivery of what you have on GBTC.
Right.
It's
the
not
same
Bitcoin.
way as you can't do it on Robinhood when you.
So
when
what? I mean, you know more about that.
Short.
What is the position of your? If these guys have the stock, how do they get the certificate? Tone, can they even do that anymore?
Well, okay, so. Again, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, right? Do I really want to go into a world where every single digital asset is a bearer instrument? I think that's a bit that's the world of Bitcoin. And the reason why it is the world of Bitcoin is because people have not evolved to the point of not wanting to steal other people's property. And maybe one day humans will evolve to that point. I think that, look, Bitcoin didn't need to exist if the governments, you know, kept, you know, if the governments were honest about creating a proper monetary system. So because the problem with the bearer instrument is that you can lose it, or you just, you know, you have no control of it. Now, look, the problem with the stock market is that they're using 1970s databases, and their databases need to significantly improve. It's a hard challenge. They need to improve. They don't need decentralization. They just need to, you know, believe in property rights. And I don't have a problem with a central company that is keeping track of your ownership of, you know, these stocks. And if you want to take possession, you can. But I also think that we are living in a world where paper anything should almost non-exist. Like, I don't want to get physical freaking certificates. I do want them in digital form. I could have a backup as a paper form, but having them bearer may not be the best thing either. Like, I want them to have my name on it. If I die, I want them to be passed on. But we just need a more honest, more transparent DTCC. And that is not a technological problem. That is a regulatory problem. If America falls apart, if there is a civil war, if there are two Americas, maybe one of them is going to create a more transparent, more property rights focused financial markets, where even though you still have a centralized entity like the DTCC, it's actually respected, where they do respect your property rights and they are holding on to your value for you.
Well, that was one of the topics we wanted to go into because somebody brought to attention, this gym in New Jersey that that they've remained open in the state of New Jersey now.
Right,
Just
we've got
their
a short
bank
video.
account. I don't know if you saw that one or not, Tone.
I'm very well aware.
Yeah, we want to get them on the show. This is the use case for Bitcoin, guys. This couldn't happen if they kept, and you have to take a legacy account risk. I have bank accounts, but I expect that they can be closed at any time. And that's why, my caution to people is, particularly if you're an American and you feel so safe, but all your assets are tied into your house and retirement accounts, you need to rearrange things. I'm not saying that you have to sell your retirement account, but you might want to downsize your house or downsize your retirement account and put 15% of your assets in Bitcoin. You got to have an escape from this thing.
Just play the video for a second.
Yeah, this is what's going to be happening. It's going to happen more and more. And I live in Mexico, guys. They've got the QEs in there. You're not going to be able to come into Mexico freely. It's a matter of time.
Very determined to crack down on crime, not murders and rapes, but anyone who criticizes the governor of New Jersey on Fox News. And that would include people who run the Civil gym. The owners of that gym have refused to stay closed this year. In November, we spoke to the owner, Ian Smith.
So Frank and I are currently being fined personally. Governor Murphy has attempted to pierce the LLC.
Audio is really low, guys. If you wanted the audio.
Yeah, it's about 4 minutes.
Yeah, so we need it, but that's it, guys. You can really look
here's the point we really want to make.
Right. This is the use case.
They gave us the statement, quote, from the gyms.
And the worst part is most of
the long of the short is they've been fined a whole lot of money for breaking COVID regulations. They didn't pay the fines, and now the government has gone in and they drained the bank account.
Look, the worst thing about it is the money that they confiscated was mostly donation money for them to fight against the state.
Yeah,
right. Confiscated their money. So look, the problem is that we have politicians that do not respect people's property rights. And I can't really say what I'm thinking because I'll get your channel banned and my channel banned and myself in general. But until there are politicians that are respecting people's property rights, and really the only reason, like, America was founded based on the US Constitution, and the entire document is set for the government to defend people's rights. And since the day that document was signed, the moment most of those guys have died, the government of the United States for the last 200 years has done nothing but try to destroy that document, because all they want to do is violate the US Constitution because they rule American citizens. And like the state government and the federal government needs to come in and start arresting the federal government needs to show up and start arresting the state government of New Jersey for violating American citizens' property.
Yeah, but Tone, the problem is that this federal government actually started the precedent through drug seizures. And, I know so many people, they come in, seize your property. In fact, even states, if you're driving cash across, well, you got to prove they seize it, then you have to prove your cash innocent. Even though there's no because the justification is your property doesn't have a constitutional right. You have a constitutional right, but your money doesn't. So they can seize it. Doesn't have to be probable cause. You have to prove your money is innocent. That's been going on for a generation now. That's been going on since Ronald Reagan era and the war on drugs.
I mean, Bitcoiners are probably privy to this more than anyone else.
The conservatives are as much to blame for our current monetary system as the liberals.
Oh yeah, this is a political problem that
we have to find the common ground. The enemy is not each other.
Bipartisan. It's just a systemic problem.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but the precedent isn't their Tone. That's what I say. I got my wake-up call. There is no due process in the United States anymore. That's what you found out during the election. And, you know, yeah, that was your wake up call. But my wake up call was when I saw that Trump promoted the COVID bailout, and all the Republicans and all the conservatives were all jumping for it. And the positive thing is it woke people up. Wow, if the government can give me money like that, just as a stroke of the pen, they can take it away from me. And they just.
But Trump had no choice. Look, Trump had no choice. Trump was put between a rock and a hard place.
Right?
Trump,
I'm just going to interrupt real quick. I didn't plan to stay very long. I wanted to hit the ground running, and I know we started off on different topics, but I would love to come back, Ugly, and discuss the markets and money management, and I'll tell you about that day where money management.
We'll hit you on. We'll hit you on.
Oh, wait, Joe, stick around. I want to Ugly. Oh, sorry. Patrick mentioned about gaming, and I know you're the gaming expert, but I forgot. I didn't mention it right away. Yeah, Patrick, I kind of disagree with you. Nobody wants to play a physical console. They want them as collectibles. They're like sneakers. Yeah. Nobody actually wants to wear, 1990s Michael Jordans. They want to put them on their wall. The games is the same.
That's evident in the pricing.
I'll tell you, gamers are techies. The gamers are techies. All right. And over time, yeah, I do remember getting my Sega Genesis and my boxed games, and then it moved into smaller boxes and discs, of course. And it looks like, Ugly's he's a gamer for life too.
I got a frame now that's signed by the Pinball Wizard of 2020.
Oh yeah, the blind man.
If GameStop wants to revolutionize their business, they need to get into the collectibles of video games, not playable video games.
But there isn't collectibles. I'm going to be honest. Like, as a gamer, I don't give a shit about anything except the experience of a game. I don't care if I get a disc. I don't care if I get a box. I just care about the download size and whether or not my hard drive has enough space to fit it. And this is coming from a gamer who's evolved through the different generations. So as one who's looking at something like GameStop, to me, it's been a dead company since games started allowing you to download 60 gigabyte files or so on, right? Some of the earlier games, I'm sure, Steven, you might know, The Witcher or something, right? That was that was PS4. That was 3-4 years ago, right? So I'm talking, dude, the GameStop to me is a dead company. There's no immersive gaming experience that I can have that is better than what I can do here at my house. I would rather be a gamer that pretend, smoking CBD, chilling a cigar, sitting in the comfort of my own home with my own setup, than being somewhere else where I have to deal with some shit and other people.
It's been many years since there was any attraction in getting a LAN
like arcades,
10 people.
Well, I like the old board games. So last time when I got out of prison,
that might be something. Board games are coming back, but anyways, I do got to run.
Axis and Allies Blitz. That was it's a collector's piece.
We'll hit you on Telegram and set up that.
I'm actually told I got to work now so that I could see you later. So, but Ugly, I really do want to talk to you some point about the that money management day, because there's 2 days.
And I need to learn because this is your kind of market. I can see that now because people they're looking at me and they're trying. Hey, I'm trading Bitcoin dust now, guys. I'm not even serious in Bitcoin trading. This isn't my kind of market. I missed the move from 20,000 to 40,000. Completely missed it, guys. But I've never been better off. That's
let me comment.
Forgiving, huh?
I'm going to comment on that. This isn't my market either, but scared money don't make no money. And it's been fucking stressful as a trader. It's been one of the hardest markets to trade. There's been a couple great bottoms, obvious. There's been a couple like the Elon Musk pump. I shorted the shit out of that, made money. So there are clear and obvious trades that, like, I'm not, by clear and obvious, I mean with a lot of experience and something that just sings not organic, were probably Bart Simpson. Like, you know what I'm saying? I could have been wrong. But the point is that this has been a difficult market to trade, but scared money don't make no money. You have to execute a trade, and that's where money management comes in. You could be a shit trader with good money management, and you're a good trader. So if you're a good trader with good money management, you're going to survive, or possibly even
you're a good trader with good money management. You're going to do great, man. You can be a bad trader like me with good money management, and you do great too.
Yeah. So
it's hard to learn it. It just is, man. It's
hard
hard
to click. It's hard to click, but once it did with you being the spearhead on that, and it clicked in my head. I call myself a cowboy in my early days as a trader. I was all in and all out, all in and all out. Every position was I was a madman. And
I
then
was all in when I had nothing, you know.
yeah. So anyways, I learned it, and I would love to go back over one of the most trying times of my trading career with you at some point.
We'll set it up. We'll be doing shows all weekend. We might have a special. We're going to figure out something for the Super Bowl. I'm from Kansas City.
I'll see you later, man.
Yeah, take care.
Have a good one, Joe.
Much love and thanks for the invite.
Thanks for tuning in here.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so look, I agree with Joe when he's talking about video games, but this is what I mean. GameStop as a video game company, what was done? It was done. Like, no one cares about the plain physical cartridges. Like, as much as I wanted, like at my cabin in Pennsylvania, I have an old school Super Nintendo, and I love the physical cartridges for it. And I was on eBay like buying those cartridges, and they were expensive. But at the end of the day,
they have that nostalgic sort of sentiment.
But at the end of the day, I also went out and I bought like a Raspberry Pi simulator with every game known to man pre-year 2000, and I connected that to the TV, and it's way better than doing those cartridges. But if GameStop wants to create and actually having a chance for their company, they can turn it into collectible. Those video games are collectible. They are unique. If you can find some of those 1990s, 1980s video games in unopened boxes or in mint condition that do work.
And or an original Pong. I actually have a son that my son has a collector's piece.
Whatever it is.
He has the original Pong and that in the bars, and which those are really hard to find. We've got this pinball machine back here, and it's all digital. It's got 3,700 games on it. It's incredible.
Right.
When I saw it, I had to buy it.
But also, imagine if you had like your favorite pinball machine that had like like some kind of a certification autograph from the creator of that pinball machine. Right. I mean, these things are incredibly valuable, and something like GameStop, could corner that market.
Oh yeah, and they're expensive to maintain. The problem, my oldest son actually rebuilt. We always had one in our basement. And he took, I forgot the name of it, but at any rate, he rebuilt it from scratch. Of course, they break down all the time. So if you're getting into the hobby, you don't want to just collect them. You need to know a little electronics and a little soldering and be able to
But the main point is more nostalgia and
it is nostalgia. It's like
I gotta get going myself unless you have a couple of more questions for me.
No, I think we covered our first.
Okay.
I did not miss the pump from 20 to 40. I was all over that. I went all in the moment we started breaking 19,500.
Oh, good for you. Well, everybody has a different way of doing it.
I was long since like 14, and then I got blown out after I've taken out half my account. So
people want to follow me, and that's the last thing we both teach that. We don't follow me. I'm trading to show you.
But I wasn't leveraged. But I was with zero leverage. I just went into GBTC. I had zero leverage.
Okay.
Right. I was heavy leverage, but there we are. Anyway, it was good to have you, Tone. Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, no, thanks, guys. We'll talk some more markets next time. It's just been it's been hectic, but I'm gonna have a lot of updates for people in the near future.
So are you Tampa Bay or are you Kansas City?
Oh, I'm Tampa Bay, man. It's look. First of all, Kansas City won last year, and second, look, they're. I don't know. I would love. It would be cool to see Brady win one more.
You're just an East Coast guy. You can't get. You need to get New York out of your system.
I'm not a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. I'm a Tampa Bay Brady's fan. So go Brady.
Okay.
No, it's different. Like I'm not so when it comes to me in sports, I don't have teams. I don't root for teams. I root for players. So I have no allegiance to any team. I don't like cheering for a uniform. It's got that war mentality going on. I don't do that. There are players that I like and there are players that I don't like. Now, obviously, any popular player, you either like him or you hate him. Like I was never a Kobe fan. I was never a LeBron fan, but I was a Jordan fan. And I was always a Brady fan. There are players that I like, and there's players that I'm not a fan of. So I don't root for LeBron to win more titles, but I am rooting for Brady to win more titles.
And I get it. And I didn't even know Kansas City. I had to ask my son, did they make it? And he said, yeah. So, and I'm trying to we're wide open down here. All the bars are open. We don't know what I kind of invited people down, but
then they got a quarantine
coming back. More some of people, not if you drive in, you don't, but people fly. If you're flying into the United States now from Mexico, there's a quarantine. You drive across, there isn't. Don't ask me why.
I know, it's insane. All right, guys, I got to run, but hopefully I'll join you guys again soon. Bye.
Later, Tom.
So yeah, we basically covered what we wanted with the GameStop and the silver. I mean, the silver was the same situation, right? It was manipulated by someone for some reason. It went up and it shot down.
And the purpose of this show, guys, if you're a young guy and you're in this thing and you just got your little panties, little brown spots on your panties, you need to learn Bitcoin and you need to understand why fundamentally it is different from everything else out there.
Right.
And it is a unique asset class, and it's not by itself. It's Bitcoin and Bitcoin alone. The first thing we do is we teach you the HODL, but the very next lesson is only Bitcoin. And if you're looking for that alternative, what Stefan and I want to do is simplify things because it's really hard to make that list.
And
I'd like
to throw out an invitation to anyone who's watching, any Bitcoiner who's watching anyway. I mean, we tried to get in touch with these Attila Gym guys who had their money taken away. It seems like they get exactly why Bitcoin would be good for them, but they're not quite there yet. So
yeah, I don't see an address on their website or anything because I wanted to send them some Bitcoin and so forth.
So if anyone wants to join in, we've tweeted at them that we'd like to donate them some Bitcoin. And if anyone wants to join in on that, they're more than welcome to, even if it's just a few Satoshis, to get them to understand.
Just to understand what it's about. And we can have all been avoided, at least their defense fund. This is the new battleground, guys.
Right.
And that's why I'm arranging my affairs. Hopefully I can get out of the United States and never go back. I'm still going back. I got some trips I'm planning to make over the next few months, but it's not because I want to. And I'm not fearful of being here in Mexico at all, but I'm very fearful of going to the United States and not being able to get out because it's coming. And if you can't see it, I don't know what else.
I mean, we've found now examples of exactly what it is that we're afraid of, right? And it's happening. Maybe not for entirely, it's happening in their mind for justifiable reasons, but they don't need the reasons if they choose not to give them to you. You can just have your shit taken away, and they've proven it more than once. And we can't make it clearer.
Right. And so, guys, if you're tuning in, this is a public show. If you're tuning in for the first time, you can go to my website, uglyoldgoat.com. Now, I was kind of outlining the hardest thing about trading is establishing a position, and so that's a self-explanatory article. There's all kinds of articles. They're all free. I don't charge anything for them. You can go to Medium. Most of them are on my website. But until you have a HODL, you certainly don't need a subscription to my services because that's a private thing. These are people, for the most part, people that they've made it in Bitcoin. I have offered some people that have blown out of the market. And I said, you know what, I want to help you out, change your thinking. Because had they just, HODL without trading or trade a very small portion of their HODL,
they would have been fine.
They would have been fine. And that's what's really hard to understand until you've lived through the cycle. It seems like everybody has to go through that.
Right.
And I mean, we all have, that's the thing.
Yeah. I think that someone who's gone through a full bear cycle is a different kind of Bitcoiner than someone who hasn't experienced that. I think there's a certain iron hand that you get when you go through that tough cycle. Or a lot of people, they lose a lot of Bitcoin, like myself. I did lose some Bitcoin when we went through the during the 2016, 2017. I know that was a bull market, but I was jumping out and in, and and when I jumped out, all of a sudden it took off, and I had to get back.
You miss those moves,
and that's why you can't do. You don't ever jump out. We never recommend net short, although I do recommend hedging, and I think there's going to.
Absolutely.
Me, the new head, I don't know what levels we're going to. I mean, as far as I know, I have to trust some of these guys that have done the research on the back end, like Willie Woo and Plan B, and but if that's coming, great. I'm in position for it. And,
and there's black swans. There's all sort of variables.
Yeah, there's all variables that are
in.
coming. We don't know. I mean, I am back in my head. I'm scared to death what's going to happen the day that the Ethereum market turns into dust. It's going to have an effect on Bitcoin, but it may not have that effect till we go to a couple 100,000 first. We just don't know. But what happens is, my whole game plan has changed because my wealth is basically almost doubled. Not quite, because I have a lot of other assets that I didn't have, in 2013 when I first got into Bitcoin.
Right.
And that's why that's why we have this down here.
Let's get some time for the member.
And this is why this show is free. It's something that we're doing out of,
right. We have a member on.
Yeah,
so,
Stefan is here because he wants to be here. We got a member. Who we got here? All right.
Theo's joined us.
Hello, Theo. He's blocked. Maybe is that him, or does he have a? You need to undo your mic.
Yeah.
Unmute.
You need to unmute yourself.
You need to unmute if you want to talk.
If you want to get in, otherwise it's fine. You can lurk.
Theo, we can't hear you. Unmute.
Yeah, unmute if you want to talk, Theo.
Nah, well, it might just be.
Just so you guys, if you're watching publicly, what happens is any of our members can participate, and they really had some good shows. Jimmy the other day was great, man. That was, and we just have a lot of great members. And we relate our experiences, and we kind of hold each other's hands.
Yeah.
Because we don't get caught up in the crap anymore.
No.
We all did at one time or another.
I mean, we've all been there. I
didn't know this GameStop was going on. Well, when I saw it, I just dismissed it. I said, that's just foolishness. But since everybody's on it, okay, I guess it's kind of almost clickbait. So we take you. You're here. You need to come where it makes sense.
Right. But yeah.
Well, I mean, if you have your HODL, like you said, Ugly, if you have your HODL position and you want to gamble with, a 2% of your stack and throw some money at meme stocks, it's fine. The most you can lose is that 2%. So
exactly.
Right.
No matter what your position is.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So, as soon as you have money management down, it just frees you up to basically do whatever you want in the markets.
Right. And
and that's what people really need to learn. It's
hard.
a simple lesson, but it's hard to get your head around.
And I think most people, they look at my track record and they say, I just want to follow. I want to do what Ugly does. Well, it doesn't work that way. And I don't know how to do that.
No. And which is exactly what happened today. I mean, we can talk a bit about that as well, because people have been asking in the group why you're going short Bitcoin right now.
I'm trading Bitcoin dust. I have, it's like, only doing it because people want to say, well, what do I do here? Well, I said, I'll trade the SARS. So I'm trading the backward SARS, and I went up a little bit, and now I'm back to where I started from. I was long and short, I traded back and forth, and now I'm stuck. I'm kind of stuck, and I might blow out. Who cares? It doesn't affect me. It's fine. I've got another position, a pretty big gold position. But if I lose it all, it doesn't affect me even a tad.
And if you blow out on your short, that just means your equity on the gold trade has risen, and your HODL.
No, well, as long as Bitcoin goes, I've never been better off. But if the market, I could get blown out of gold here, but it went down.
You also get blown out of Bitcoin, and
I can get blown out of Bitcoin. That's fine. I get blown out of Bitcoin. I'm just all the better off, And I need to sell some more Bitcoin, so let it go up. I just soon sell it at 40,000. It's 35,000.
But that's what people need to understand. There's differences in the way you trade that are based on your equity and where you are in the market.
And here's a good example. I was talking with the gold lady. She's building that new house. You're aware of it,
right?
Well, she's looking at a lot across the street. I showed you that lot where we want to park the vehicles.
Right.
Well, I didn't realize it. she still owes on the lot 25,000. I said, well, wait a minute, my love. We were sitting today, just enjoying each other's company. I said, okay, but I'm not going to consider buying another lot until you pay for this one. You just built this beautiful house on a lot and you don't have clear title of this lot yet. I said, no. I said, pay off the lot, show me the clear title. Then you can start looking for, for some more land deals. But right now she's got an unacceptable risk. If something goes, and the guy that we're doing, he's trustworthy. He's a great third party. I'm not worried about it, but it's just a wise and prudent thing for her to have the full title of that lot in her name, because she's already built this beautiful house. She's out there now. That's where we're going next. When we get up here, guys, we're going to get on the buggy with 4, and drive out that way. So,
but yeah, let's run through it again. Let's try. This is public, so let's try to beat this into people's head if they don't get it. If you're trying to get into the market, the first thing you need to do is establish yourself with a hodl. If you don't have a hodl, you don't want to be trading.
Doesn't matter what the price is. When is the best time to buy Bitcoin?
If you don't have any,
yesterday,
now.
Tomorrow. If you don't have any, don't worry about it. Just get some.
Right. If you
get off zero.
Best time is always to buy now. And
get off of zero right away.
Exactly. So you get, and then you sort of satisfy that little urge you have to get into the market, and then you start building your hodl. Once you've done that, you can start speculating a bit, but only with a tiny portion of your hodl. That way, no matter what happens, you're still in the clear. And it really isn't a hard concept, but it's just something that people don't follow.
Yeah, because everybody wants to be rich tomorrow.
Right.
And this is not going to get you rich tomorrow.
And coming into Ugly's group doesn't mean that you're going to get any call signals. You're not going to get any signals at all. That's not the kind of group it is. So if you expect that, you're really in the wrong
What you
place.
do is you get all my trading history, and we do lots of studies on it. And I've learned things, I've learned that I wind up making I didn't know it until we ran the history on it, but I make about 7% of my profits last year was due to me making a market. Incredible.
That's,
and
it
was on in very few markets. I guess Binance now you can trade, and I'll have to look at it, but that's the future, guys. This is really an advancement in markets by having that kind of a structure, because
but people need to understand that we're not a signal group. We're not a call group.
We're not here to buy here and sell there.
No, there's nothing of that going on.
We don't give any trading advice.
If you think that's what Ugly is trying to teach,
I just give you every trade that I do, I publish.
Right. Exactly. And that doesn't mean that you want to get in the same trade. Ugly is trading his equity, which means, he doesn't really,
because I would probably be I'd be more aggressive if I was trading.
Right. But you're trading the equity.
I'm trading. I don't want to. I'm trading the trading account. This isn't my market. This isn't my kind of market.
So, but people kind of expected you to trade, which is why you jump into certain things. But that doesn't mean that if you're in it long, you should close it out. Definitely. Like we had a member who was unfortunate enough to take your cue of going short as a reason for him to close out his longs. That's not how it works. If you're in a long, you're profitable. We're not saying that you wouldn't have stayed in.
Yeah. Well, there it is.
People need to really understand it. It's not a signal group. You can't just follow Ugly and expect to make money. You can on money management, but you can't on trading. And there's plenty of other people to ask in the group if you want to. We have a troll box if people want to discuss TA. We have all these things. But, fundamentally, money management is what you're going to learn.
And what I am going to do is we're going to try and come up with something this year. Juan's been working on one. That's something I want to do this week. We all need to get together and figure out if we want to do it in-house, there's a company that'll help us put it together. But I do need to put out something that's much more reasonable. And I think we need, as a premium, we need to offer people a Tracer and maybe this is part of our swag hats or something, or t-shirt. So
a little Bitcoin standard starter kit.
Yeah, but something, because I get it, guys. If you're just starting out, but it's all free now anyway, and the free stuff will still be free.
Oh yeah, we're never going to put a paywall on.
Yeah, we're not going to put a paywall on. Yeah, it's just they don't.
These are the articles that you need to have gone through and read before you pay
And
for
this
the
is
group.
medium, but we also, most of them are on the website. They just don't quite convert perfectly sometimes.
I'll look at it. We'll,
So,
we'll have
and
a look
then,
at that.
but that's okay too. If we go to medium, they charge a little bit after you get a few free articles, but all the stuff on our website's free.
Right.
So you can go there.
So
and
there's
look
no
at that.
reason to pay for a membership to Ugly's.
And like I say,
Before
we
you've
have a
gone-
group that we really monitor because we don't want, when people, we don't go into TA, we don't go into where the market's going, and people get it. And so they really watch it. If we get out of line, hey, that's TA, we don't want to talk about that.
Right.
We have
we've got a troll box
group
for
where you
that.
can bring up anything.
Right.
But the whole thing is we're trying to reinforce good habits in each other.
Yeah. So basically what we're saying is to anyone in the group, don't follow what Ugly does on a trading level. Follow what it does on a money management level. That's what we really want to emphasize.
Right. And if you notice, I'm a loser this year. I'm down 2 Bitcoin.
Well, yeah.
And
But-
I threw in, and so I got to make 2 Bitcoin just to break even now.
But your hodl is worth
My
more than
hodl's
it has ever been.
worth twice as much. What difference does it make? And last year, I took out 47 Bitcoin. I put 2 back in this year. That's money management.
That's why we can blow out the bottom with a smile.
Exactly.
Right. So I think that basically covers what we wanted to cover today. I mean, we have a question from the members that say, but the question
even
is,
non-members
why are
too.
you short? And I think we covered that.
Yeah,
You're not.
I'm not short. I'm long. I got my hodl.
You're playing the market a little bit with a little bit of dust.
It does,
and you're just
it's
having
like,
fun.
don't follow me because this, it's not going to affect me one way. If I blow out of that thing tomorrow,
And
I think what's really showing me is how strong the fundamentals for Bitcoin is.
But
look at how, I'm very bullish on the gold market, but yesterday you had that spike. And that was, did we show the silver?
No, I haven't shown a silver yet, but can do.
Yeah, there's silver. And
Silver was very interesting because every single top post on Wall Street Bets was saying that don't buy silver, it's a trap.
Yeah, I read that as well. I actually jumped in. I YOLO'd in on silver.
Oh, they said don't buy silver.
Yeah,
Okay.
but then
They said don't.
As soon as I
Good.
saw that, as soon as I looked into the Reddit boards and saw, I saw, I jumped out again at break even.
But I wasn't ready to sell it either
because
because you don't know, we don't have a lot of, all it shows is we have plenty of silver. There's a lot of industrial usage. And look, it costs money to hold gold and silver, at least storage space, or if you have to pay for storage or you have to take the delivery of it. It's not, so it's not an appreciating asset. It's a speculative asset. And there's no shortage of silver. There was a shortage of small silver coins, silver dollars, silver bullion on a retail level. So all they had to do is back up production and say, okay, we're going to make more coins and hold off probably a few jobs that are they stop all their jobs that are in production and say, hey, we're going to be a week late till we get caught up on these bullion, bars that people want. But it's over with, and it may just be maybe that's a legitimate breakout, but I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not bullish on silver necessarily. And what you're saying is this sell-off in gold and silver has had the opposite impact on Bitcoin.
Right.
It really has. So,
but yeah,
silver did go, or gold did go down below last week's low.
But yeah, no,
if I had done that yesterday, I'd have been a buyer. I wasn't a buyer today. I missed it because I wasn't even watching the market. But if that had done that yesterday, I'd have been a buyer under that 1830. That was the previous week's low. And now it's rallied a little bit, but it hadn't gone very far. We did barely take out the 2-week high, but gold's got to get to contract highs. It's got to go there, and it may not. So that's the whole thing. You want to pull up the gold, you can put up the gold and see where it's doing. I have no idea where it's at, but I do have a position on gold, not silver. Yeah, that's right where it was, 1837, 1835. It went down there to 1829, but we barely took out last week's 2-week high, and then we couldn't even go back up there yesterday.
No, it's really struggling around this point.
It's a, like I say, it just gets, gold's getting exasperating for the longs. But this is an accumulation. Now, that's not saying gold can't go down to 1,700 or even 1,400, but this is not I don't see this as being a distribution in gold at all. And we'll go look at that monthly. That's the telltale. You got to look at the long-term fundamentals and the long-term technicals, and the fundamentals for gold is still there. It's still,
I mean, yeah, we have some,
make it the monthly chart. Just hit M. There you go. Boom.
There's the
that's what we're looking at. And we've got a 10-year cup and handle, and this handle on the right side is still being formulated. And so, you know, once this thing starts up, this thing does have a potential, you know, going to 15 to 20,000 without stopping. Yeah, well, if it'll stop,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be quite that easy. But you are setting up for a potential gold move, and the fundamentals are there. But you know, where will Bitcoin go if that happens? Because gold has its limitations, guys. It is confiscatable. It has, you know, it's not easily transferable internationally. You have to go through legacy systems to do it. Whereas Bitcoin, you don't. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. You can transfer it, and it has no borders, and it can't be taken from you. And it's a very good transfer of value. It's lousy cash, and it sucks as a store of value because it's so volatile. In the long run, it's a great store of value. But if you're buying it today with the hope of making instant profit tomorrow, well, maybe it will, maybe it won't. So you just, you know, that's you put down your money and see where it goes. So holla, guys. Huh?
As Michael Saylor would say, it's a great store of value if you just zoom out a little bit. Over 3 to 4 years, it's a great store of value. Over a period of 4 years, maybe not. But
yeah, exactly.
And speaking of Michael Saylor,
he's got his show. Yeah, he's
got his conference tomorrow, which is open to anyone. You can join in for free.
We'll be tuning into that.
I think it was just microstrategy.com, right?
Yeah, it's free. They do have a VIP section. I'm not sure what you get for the VIP.
There was a roundtable discussion. But
I will be interested because he is teaching people that I think that this is, I've said all along that the new wave in Bitcoin, it's not going to be banking the unbanked or using Bitcoin as cash. It's going to be using Bitcoin as collateral for other business. That's going to be the hedging your hodl. Michael Saylor has never said he said, I'm not going to sell my Bitcoin, but he has never said that he's not going to use it. You actually can use Bitcoin, guys. You can use it. And, you know, the goat lady uses it all the time. She's got a piece of land she wants to buy. And I got more people that are thinking, you know what, this is a good time to maybe, you know, create a second home outside of the United States because things are getting spooky there. And so we're going to be there's more and more people coming down here. If you're a member, you're welcome. We're not going to do this publicly, let them know where we're at, but members come down here. We got some toys we like to play with. And
that's a little bonus you get.
That's a little bonus
for subscribing
I'm just looking forward to this coming year, and we hopefully will be doing more of these shows and get a little bit more professional with what we're doing and get a simpler something that's open to the newbie, to guys that say, okay, I'm finally interested in Bitcoin. How should I get in there and do it?
I see there's someone who's asking for a referral link to the newsletter, so I'm just going to post it in the.
Yeah, just anybody that's watching this, one of the members can tweet out one of their referral links. I don't use my referral link except in rare cases, but I tweet something out and then I let the members retweet it or whatever. So if they sign up, we just have a little, because I want you guys to start getting used to doing business in Bitcoin. So we have a referral system. You'll get 15% discount if you come in through an existing member, and they get a little 10% perk in Bitcoin. And we're going to be working together too. This guy's, I think we closed our deal. I think he might just be if we pull this together, that referral link could be very lucrative.
Oh, yeah.
Get something going. I want to show people how to build something with a low risk and out of nothing, because that's what I've done over and over and over again. And maybe you and I can do it.
Hopefully.
All I have is a huddle, and that's all you have, right?
Yeah.
So all we're going to do is maybe put in work here, and we'll make this. I was a straight commission man. Are you open for that? You can afford it now, or I mean, it's up to you.
I mean, that's definitely an option. We'll see if
Well,
I can sell it
we'll
to
see
the
what
missus.
happens. I'm not sure what's going to.
I
get it if people need, but I need that security because most people are that way, and I get it. So
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I think my missus might, but there we go.
Well,
that's her problem, not as much.
All right. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm excited. You know, I want to pass on some kind of a crazy legacy.
I'm just happy to be a part of it, to be honest.
Right,
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's just
and he
fun.
likes to argue too. Sometimes I know I got it. I actually wanted to be with the wife because it's easier being with her than it was you yesterday.
Yeah, well, that's what you get sometimes.
I really feel sorry for Matilda.
Did you hear that, love?
Okay. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope we helped you. Yeah, guys, if you're stuck in that, if you bought silver,
there's a question on the YouTube I wanna get to real quick. How can I learn more about Ugly's money management style?
Okay, go the website. The opening page is how to have the same results as a professional trader without the inherent risk.
Right.
And what I emphasize over and over again is you dollar cost average. And I started, my first article was blowing out the market with a smile. And I started that in 2018, I think it was, because I was trading. I was top 10 notational in 2017. And I was trading for 3 months and just couldn't make it. It's like now so I said, I'll start writing this article. So I blew out and I wrote about it.
Right.
And then the second article was this one. And then the third article is I am saving. And probably if you start anywhere, this easiest one is how I made $1 million with half of my Social Security. And that sums it all up in a nutshell and why hauling is so hard. Okay, yeah, just hit down here, go to how the results. Oh, you didn't.
I was
just go to the newsletter and go down here to scroll down. There it is, read more. And this is the article. And the whole key centers around the dollar cost averaging. And you'll see a big chart there if you scroll down where you'll see it. And I'm going to go through this more and more because
we're going to have a concise little
video about it because it's okay.
It's all the way down here.
All the way down there. There it is. And this is your dollar cost average. And guys, if your dollar cost average $500 a month since the peak in 2014, you're worth $2 million now. And if you just started, then that's more than that because the market's gone up since then. But here we go. If you started in the previous peak in December 15th,
17,
you have it started at 17,000, but now if you just put in $500 a month, your $19,000 is 92,000. That's not getting rich overnight.
And that's starting at the top of every bull market.
Every bull market. We took the very worst timing.
So it doesn't matter. It's like we said, if you don't have any Bitcoin, the best time to get it is now.
And go to the Medium because it's a very concise article. The Social Security, just go Social Security. It's on that one too, but Medium sometimes reads a little better. No, well, there it is. How to Bitcoin Millionaire. That's it. Just go to that one. This is it's so concise, very, very simple. And this is explain why the reason this works is the fundamentals is not Bitcoin. The fundamentals is apart from Bitcoin. We have 4 generations of inflation now. Okay. The biggest swindle of all of history is not the hedge funds. The biggest swindle is your own government because they've been inflating, and which is us because we are the government. We've been living under inflating money for 4 generations now. That's number one. Number 2 is we have Social Security, which is an entitlement. We have all of these entitlement programs, And so that's a swindle because most people are going to get back a small percentage of what you paid in. It's really a tax. And the third thing is regulation, or SEC. And so we really have to get rid of those three things. But their client is going the other way. They're introducing more regulation. There's more entitlements. This bailout is huge. But you go down here, if anybody recommended, and you're a financial planner and you recommended that, when I was recommending it, you'd have been kicked out of your organization because that was not allowed. Basically, you can't. Nobody recommended. You have all these radio advertises and TV ads, and you need to consult us and pay us. Come to our free seminar, and we'll help you maximize your Social Security benefits. Well, the best way to maximize your Social Security benefits is put half or all of it, if you can afford it, into Bitcoin. And it's just, if I've been doing it since I got into Bitcoin in 2013, and that's why I'm a Bitcoin millionaire. And but it wasn't overnight. I didn't do it in 2 months or 6 weeks or even 2 years. Scroll down there if you can a little bit on that article. So are they seeing that article now? Yeah. So there it is. This is what people are promoting. And if you're a financial planner and follow what I recommend, they would kick you out of the professional guild that they have, to be a registered financial planner. So, and this is definitely the way you got to think outside of the box. So. All right, well, we're done. I'm rambling.
I think we covered what we wanted to cover today. We'll be back with Joe Saz at some point to discuss the differences between, trading the market short-term versus long-term, which is, the main difference between.
All right, well, let's get out of here and ride the waves on our.
Let's go get a buggy ride. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go for a buggy ride.
All right, guys. It was good having you.
In.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Motorist, thanks for dropping by.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're trying to put together some of those shows. I got some people I'm trying to contact that I really want to pick their brains. I hope those guys that have the gym come on. That would be really nice.
That would be really, really good.
That's who we need to help, guys.
I'll see if I can get them on now when you guys leave.
Yeah, okay. we've tweeted at them and stuff.
Check my
we'll see.
All right.
All right. Well, have a good one, guys. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Let me see if anybody's answered my proton.
Hey, Ugly.
Yeah.
Ugly.
Oh, we're still live, so carry
Okay,
2 seconds. Let me just get us off.
Hello,